Back to Capitol Hill. It was a late night on Friday. Kevin McCarthy officially sworn in as Speaker of the House around 1:40 in the morning after 15 rounds of voting in what turned into a fairly rowdy scene. Joining me now for more, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, good morning. Happy Monday. The real work begins now. But first, you were sitting right there. Basically, you were a seat or two away from Matt Gaetz. Congressman Mike Rogers kind of went after Gaetz and had to be pulled back by Congressman Richard Hudson. There you are. So Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert right next to you, and then there's Gaetz. They were kind of having words, and then Mike Rogers kind of lunged at Gaetz. What I want to know is what was being said there, and then you can see Kevin McCarthy went back to the scene to make sure that everything was okay. What did Rogers want? What was he saying?
Well, he wasn't making sure that we got our pizza order in for the break. That's for sure. He was hot. You know, it was late. I mean, these old guys, listen, they didn't get their naps. They didn't get to they missed the early bird special at the Sizzler. It was getting late. And they, he was just it was just bravado, I guess, adrenaline, late night, no sleep. And, it's been reported multiple times what was said. Not going to go into all that, but it's just what it was. It was just a late night, and that's why I was trying to get a break. If you notice one of the later cuts, I was going like this. I was telling them because that's what Patrick McHenry and I had talked about, and he was going to the mic to do just that. And we'd had it pretty much worked out. Everything was in good shape. I felt we were going to go through this thing, and Matt was really, all the deal was Matt just wanted some time to look over the new rules changes. He had obviously been an integral part of that, or if not the biggest part of that, negotiating that and the things that he wanted in there, and that I thought were very good for the country, as a matter of fact. And he felt like he wasn't given the time. So, when I did that, they moved to adjourn, and we were voting on it. And then if you notice, I reached over, there's a later thing. I've seen it on many videos. They're playing the theme from Godfather, and Matt and I are talking, and then Matt made the decision not to push forward with it. And so we all changed our vote on the motion to adjourn. And then history was made, I guess.
History was made. Kevin McCarthy became Speaker. It was almost 2 in the morning. I thought it was interesting. They were chanting USA, USA after that happened, which was nice to see. It was nice to see that back on the Capitol. Congressman Dan Bishop, he was one of the 20. He addressed what working with Kevin McCarthy will look like starting today. Take a listen.
Bottom line, do you trust Kevin McCarthy, or do you simply trust what you've seen on paper?
I think Kevin McCarthy is an extraordinarily talented leader. He will, with all this having been laid down, I'm confident that we're going to, under his leadership, accomplish a great deal for the American people.
Okay, so it starts today. The rules package will be voted on, we think, this morning. The hardliners, the 20, they wanted this. It's going to be a much more difficult sell for maybe more moderate Republicans in the House. Do you support the updated rules package?
Absolutely. It really kind of mirrors what we have in the Tennessee legislature. It opens things up to everybody. There's transparency. This rules committee will have folks that have a conservative heart like I do, and I support that 100%. I got about 85% of what I asked for in the rules package. So I feel very confident that we're going to move ahead. And I feel like fiscally responsible Americans will again have a seat at the table. Where in the past, the Rules Committee, as you know, could pretty much hijack a bill and load it up with a bunch of woke garbage. And that's what we saw in the past. And, we had more debate, more discussion the last 4 days in Congress than I have in the last 4 years under Speaker Pelosi. So I look very forward. I'm very much looking forward to Kevin McCarthy's leadership.
Yeah, ultimately it feels like this was a good thing for the party, but of course only time will tell. Congressman, great having you back on. We appreciate you breaking that moment down for us. You, though, I got to admit, Congressman, you were cool as a cucumber the whole time. It was.
Yeah, I know. Politico had an article about me being the funniest guy in Congress, and then
it's official now.
And now this week I'm the adult in the room. I don't know what to think
Right,
anymore.
right.
Well, my buddies were wondering why I didn't get into a fist fight, because that would normally be. But I said, I'm in Congress now. I can't really do that as much as I used to.
That's right. Good to see you, Congressman Tim Burchett,
Thank you,
Tennessee.
brother.
Appreciate you being with us.